we're recording. Okay. Alright, so today's self-help vlog is one I am actually dedicating to a very dear friend of mine. His name's Aaron, and he is currently dying from cancer. And I saw today on Twitter and on Facebook that he's really just having a hard time today in particular. And he was diagnosed, gosh, over a year ago. And I've been deeply impressed with his motto of choose joy. And it's not easy because he's very sick and he's going to leave behind his beautiful wife and he's, dying. It's terminal. That sucks. But again and again he rallies and chooses instead to try and enjoy what's now and here and love the people he loves and do what he can and trust in God that everything's going to go as it ought, even if it's not necessarily what he wants. And I am hugely impressed by that. So that's the theme of today's vlog, is choose joy. I remember once I was actually quoted, a friend of mine quoted me something I wrote in an email on a list. It's probably floating around the internet somewhere, this quote of the day list, where he had, I think, 10,000 subscribers. And this was many, many years ago, back in the early days of my internet playing, back in like 99 or something, so like 11 years ago. But I was talking to him and he was struggling with depression, and at the time I didn't even really know that I was bipolar, but I had already been through therapy a lot and did everything I could to try and be happy on my own. And I remember telling him, happiness isn't something that just comes to you. It's not just something that magically appears. Happiness is a choice. It's a choice you make each and every day. And he was so impressed by that he quoted me, and I ended up on this quote list, so if you look for Debbie Wind, you might find it. But I do believe that's the case, that happiness is not just some ephemeral thing that comes upon you, that happens from without. It is something that you choose to experience, that you choose to embrace and believe in. And it's not just making the mental decision. It's not just, okay, I'm going to be happy. It's living your life in such a way that you can feel joy. Because life isn't easy. It's not. Life's not easy. Life's not hard, not fair. I'll be the first person to say that. It's not fair. It's not easy. Bad things happen to good people all the time. And I happen to have a certain, theological slant on it as to why that is. But it's irrefutable that bad things do happen. And I happen to be firmly of the opinion that it's not because we're being punished. It's not because you're a bad person. It's not because you've earned this somehow. It's just because we all have our own ability to choose. And unfortunately, that ability to choose belongs to everyone. And because everyone has that choice, other people's choices can impact us negatively. Bad things can happen to us because somebody else made a stupid choice. And that's the downside to agency. But it's part of the deal. And so you can also choose, use your free will to choose how you feel, how you react to the world, what you do with your time and your energies. And you can choose joy. You can choose that thing that makes you happy rather than the thing that makes you sad. And it's not always easy, and it's not always going to work, and it's not always... We're mortal, and we're human, and we're flawed. And not every day is going to be sunshine and roses. I know it isn't for me. But I am very cognizant of the fact that if I'm down, if I'm blue, if I'm depressed, there is a way out of it. And there comes a point when I can choose not to be that way. I mean, for me, part of it is chemical. I'm bipolar. That I can't change the fact that I've got kind of wonky brain chemistry. But I can do things about it. I can take my meds. I can go to therapy. I can do all those self-help things that I'm encouraging all you to do. And I can also choose. I can choose not to give in to those depressive impulses. Choose not to do that behavior. Choose to look at things in a good light. It's pouring outside. And we live in Eugene, Oregon. We live in a temperate rainforest. And you can look outside and you can either see the gray clouds and choose to feel all depressed because there's no sunshine, or you can choose to go out and dance in the rain. You can choose to recognize the fact that because of this rain, we're going to have this beautiful green valley that we live in. it's all about what you choose. And you can do it. And maybe you've never done it before, or maybe you're not good at it, or maybe it feels really hard or unfamiliar or uncomfortable. But it doesn't change the fact that the power is in your hands. This is your life. This is all you get. This isn't a dress rehearsal. There isn't going to be some mystical day when everything's all better and perfect and lovely. That day is today. The time is now. Look at your life. Examine it. If there's things that you don't like, change it. If there's things that make you unhappy, do what you can to make them better. And if you can't change those things that are hard or bad or unhappy in your life, choose to look at another part of your life. I'm not saying you ignore your pain. I'm not saying you disregard the difficult things. I'm not saying you should, do a Pollyanna and just blissfully ignore the difficulties you have, because I think you absolutely should work hard to do everything you can to overcome your difficulties. But there are some things in life that are just going to suck, and there's nothing you can do about it. The only thing you can do is choose to feel differently. Celebrate those moments of joy that come in your life, because they're there. They are there. There are people that love you, and you may not even know it. You may not even be aware of these people that care about you, but they're there. I promise you, no one is in fact alone. I had a friend tell me last night that she was terrified that she was going to spend her life alone. And she's a decade younger than I am. And to be so frightened of that already, I just had to remind her that I cared about her. If nothing else, I cared about her. And I knew there was other people that from our social circle that cared about her. And she's a smart, funny, vivacious, just this delightful, wry sense of humor. And she's beautiful. She is beautiful. And I know that she's not going to spend her life alone. You just have to decide where you're going to look. You're having a piece of chocolate cake. Enjoy that cake. Be grateful for that cake. Take a moment to just revel in the fact that you get to eat chocolate cake. Because there are people out there that don't like it, that are allergic, that are hungry and penniless. And you're not. You live in this great nation. You're surrounded by intelligent, capable people. You've got, electricity and running clean water and, food on your table, and, you've got an education, and you've got these gifts and talents of your own. You've got food, clothes on your back, and a means of transportation, even if it's just your own 2 feet. You have good things all around you, and it's a matter of choice. It's a matter of conscious, deliberate effort that you recognize those good things and you celebrate them. Because the bad's there too, and it's always going to be. That's part of this mortal life. Things are not easy. Things are not perfect. And they're never going to be, not until we're on the other side. But you can enjoy the here and now. Write those things down. Make a conscious and deliberate effort to notice every good little thing you see today. The way the sun comes through the dewdrops on the tree when you're walking past. The smile someone gives a stranger on the bus. The really nice dinner someone that you love made for you. Any number of things, and make a very deliberate effort to recognize them, to celebrate them. Write them down. Talk about them with the people you love. Pray that you can be reminded of the good you have, and to pay less mind and to give less power to those things that are hard that you cannot change. It's not going to make your life perfect. It's not going to mean that every single day is wonderful. But I promise you, if you do these things, you will feel better, and your life will be better. Be like my wonderful friend Erin. Choose joy. Love you guys.